What's going on, everybody? Joshua Wade here, and I want to thank you for taking the time to check out this video. And the topic of conversation today is the Zoom H8 handy recorder and a few of the cool features and how I like to use it as a stereo microphone when I'm recording acoustic guitars. A little bit later in this video, I'll hop into my DAW and I'll show you how I have it set up and how I record my buddy's acoustic guitars on a lot of his singer-songwriter stuff. So without rambling on too much more, I'm gonna go ahead and switch screens and show you how I set this up in my DAW and also how I set it up to mic acoustic guitars. Alright guys, so the first thing that you want to do to put this into interface mode is don't turn it on and don't open your DAW yet. You're going to want to plug it in first. This is just a regular micro USB to USB-A, and then I've got a Type-C adapter for my MacBook. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug this in first, and then plug it into my DAW first. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn on the unit by holding the switch to the left. One thing to note, whenever this is plugged in via USB, you'll notice the battery indicator isn't up here because it's running off of bus power, it's USB. So the first thing I want to do is select this. I'll go to multi-track, then I'll make sure my sample rate is selected properly. I use 48K 24-bit, and then just click connect. And you are connected, so now your computer will see this as an audio interface. Okay guys, once you have your Zoom H8 set to interface mode and you're all plugged in, you've got your DAW open. In my case it's Logic, but this should be the same for any DAW, honestly. So for me, I'll go up to Logic Pro, Preferences, Audio. And again, make sure you have it plugged in before you open your DAW because you will get glitches and stuff like that. It'll confuse the system. So for me, my output device is my Minifuse 1, my Arturia Minifuse 1, and my input device currently is Minifuse 1. But because OS X has aggregate devices, I can actually click my input device as my Zoom H8. Now both of them might change. Okay, it didn't, cool. So now I have my H8, my field recorder as my interface, and if I just click apply, now I'm set up and I can actually set my microphone up, or the Zoom H8 up, as a recorder, and I can still monitor through my normal audio interface. So I can still use it as a headphone amp, and very, very low latency. I don't know if you saw that, but it had 4.8 milliseconds for me, and I think my buffer is set to 64. So this thing has a very low latency, which is really impressive. Okay guys, here is my total overkill setup that I had mentioned before. This is my setup that I use to record my audio out of my DAW and my voice. The audio, the stereo audio, comes out of my headphone input or output, which I set to 12 o'clock, and I run it into the line in TRS right here, which is a little 1/8 inch TRS cable, and then I'll run my Rode NT1 into channel 1. And how I have this set up, I click field mode, and whenever you see this light up here, it means the stereo capsule is on right now. I'm not recording the mics, obviously, I'm using the TRS line in. And then I'll go over here to channel 1 and I'll hit the activate button. And you see the extra channel popped up. Now, what I do with my laptop, my screen cap software, is I just use my MacBook Air's microphone and I do the clap sync thing. So that way I know that my screen cap on my computer is synced up with the clap on this, and I just sync them up in post later so everything lines up. So the reason I'm showing you this super complicated setup is the next screen cap you're about to see is going to have audio coming out of my DAW and my microphone, my Rode NT1 on it. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys the transition and how I have it set up for that. Okay guys, so now we are switched over to the Zoom H8, and I've got the stereo headphone output running into the TRS input on the mic capsule. So now whenever I play this, you guys can hear it, and I am tracking these on different tracks. So the audio that's coming out of my DAW is on a stereo track, and my voice is on its own track, so I can sync these up later in post. So the song you're about to hear, this acoustic is all recorded with the Zoom H8 in interface mode. So let's go ahead and have a listen. Okay, sorry I played so much of it, but this is my favorite song that we have worked on together. This is my buddy Braxton, so feel free to check him out on Spotify, by the way. Super, super talented singer-songwriter. And again, yeah, this is, let me go ahead and solo this. The only thing that I have on these microphones, so what I did was I set up two separate tracks. One, just input 1 and input 2, because that's how Logic sees the H8, and that's how your DAW should see it too. And the only thing I have on here, I've got a channel EQ. This is a Taylor C314, I believe. I think it's just 314. So here is the EQ curve I have. A little bit weird, but if I play it back, you'll see that this microphone, I'm not sure what the frequency response is of the capsule microphone, the XY mic on this thing, but you can see it doesn't have much. It's very weird. It's got like a hard cut at 80, and I normally would not EQ acoustic guitars this way, but because it's just acoustic and voice, it leaves a little bit of room in that kind of, below 80 hertz range. And my buddy Braxton, he's like, hey man, can you give me more bottom end on the acoustic guitar? And I'm like, as a rule, I usually won't boost the lows, but in this case, it is just the acoustic guitar. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I put a light compressor on it also. Super light. This is a very transparent. This is just a stock Logic compressor. But yeah, this is the sound that it gets. And we XY'd them, so I've got this one panned hard right, this one's panned hard left, and basically I would get some B-roll of me actually doing it, but I didn't think I was going to make this video about it, so what I'll do is I'll just throw some pictures on the screen so you guys can see how we had it set up. And there is, there's a quarter 10 thread, or quarter 10 thread on the bottom of this interface, and I happen to have standard mic adapter to quarter 10 thread. So that's what I do. I go ahead and I'll screw it onto one of my microphone stands, and I'll set this up and just set it on top of the microphone stand, so that way whenever Braxton is recording, or any acoustic guitars, I've recorded a few clients with this in this configuration, and they've been blown away by the sound. Again, I don't know what the frequency response is, so if you guys happen to find that online, feel free to leave it in the comments, because I searched the hell out of the internet. I could not find anything on the frequency response of this capsule. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this video. If you were maybe thinking about purchasing the Zoom H8, I hope this video helped you out a little bit, and I have zero regrets for buying this thing. Like I said, it is a multi-purpose tool, and with its expandability with the modules and the different capsules, it can kind of expand as my needs grow. Continued support is greatly appreciated, so if you feel like it, hit that thumbs up, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I will catch you guys in the next video, and remember, it's called Music Theory, not Music Fact. Have a good one.